has taken over. Let's go. It's Ferrall. Coast to coast. Steaks, chicks, stacks. You and I are going to make a lot of money. It's Ferrall, coast to coast.
Mafia just told me in the break that he was tired of my ref stories. He just said that just stop already. No one cares. Just stop talking about it. He's mean like that to me. It's unbelievable. You're going to want to get the SportsGrid app on iOS or Android because it's free, and free is me. I think you'll love it. It's got the TV and radio side on it. Like on the app, you can watch and listen either or on the app. And that's all you need to know. It's smarter to be on SportsGrid. Hey, did you know we're streaming on X? Just go to SportsGrid-Live. It's every day, always. It's even right now as we speak. It's happening this very moment. Chicks dig me. All right, get the Ferrall Coast to Coast and Ferrall on the Bench podcast on Apple, iTunes, or wherever you get podcasts. I have no idea where people do these things. But I know people like the shows. Let's talk about the lineup tonight on TV and radio. On TV at 6 is Front Office Sports Today. At 6:30, it's GTD Game Time Decisions with the Kevin Walsh. And then at 8, it's the Original OG In-Game Live with Scott Wetzel and Dave Sharapan. And then at 10, it's Sports Rage with Morency. On radio at 8, it's The Institution. Carver and Lisi. All that tonight on SportsGrid TV and SportsGrid Radio. Very exciting. So anyway, and we are better than everyone else. If you notice, like, I watch shows in here during, like, the show. I have stuff on, like, the hockey channel or the golf channel or the baseball channel or the ESPN. And, like, when we're in breaks, we just talk about how bad the shows all suck. And they never say that about this show. We just won again for, like, the umpteenth year. Hashtag best in show. Best in show. That's us. Anyway, so into the second hour, Carver High also was included in the conversation about my reffing. He thought that I would be shot. Like he's like, Mobby's like, stop talking about the reffing. And Carver High said, I'm surprised you didn't get shot last night, which was another mean statement from the crew. Well, always attacking these people. And I like them. I like these guys, and they still attack me. My own guy.
When you told me yesterday you were going to be doing that, I figured that was one of several outcomes that could happen with you doing that. All right, I need to get to the other stuff, but I know you want to talk Knicks Celtics all day, and I don't
all day.
I don't have a problem with that because you're so happy that the Knicks are up 3-1. I'll leave this game with this though. The Knicks will try to close them out in Boston tomorrow night, and the Celtics are 4.5-point favorites in that game with a 208.5 total. We, of course, will discuss this more tomorrow on C2C. As far as the series goes, if you think that the Celtics can win 3 in a row, plus 460, minus 620, and I say this to you a lot. I know the Celtics were huge favorites, minus 1,000 before the series started. That's why that number's still where it is. For a team to win 3 games in a row, I don't care how good they are, I need a lot more than plus 460. To take that for a team to win 3 games in a row.
And look, I think the Celtics will win tomorrow night. I do, and I think they'll cover. And then I think that Friday night, if that's when it is, I think it's Friday night at the Garden would be Game 6. Is that right?
Yes, I believe so.
Okay.
I'm double checking that for you.
Then the Knicks had better win that game at the Garden because that will be their last chance to win this series. If they lose 5 and then lose 6, they will lose the series in 7 in Boston. They will lose.
Quite the Friday night in New York City. You're going to have Knicks Celtics games, potentially Game 6 at the Garden, and Mets Yankees Subway Series this weekend. So you have really big New York sports weekend.
I watched the Yankees on Sunday. I have to tell you, and they were winning whatever it was, 11-2 or something. And honestly, it is heroin. I mean, it is. Like, I'm watching again, and I was seeing triple. Forget double. Like you watch. It's baseball is so like I love baseball. I do, but honest to Christ, who needs lorazepam to sleep when you got Major League Baseball? If you turn on a West Coast game when you go to bed at like 11 East put a baseball game on. You'll be out cold in 2 minutes. I mean, it's so boring. It's so boring. It's unbelievable. And if people can't admit that, screw you too. Honestly, it's so boring. I can't even take it.
It's very hard for me to watch a full game cover to cover in the regular season. Like in the playoffs,
but I'm not watching.
In the playoffs, I can do it. In the playoffs, I'm into it, and I can watch a full 9-inning game. In the regular season in mid-May, it's very tough. So what I like to put on because of the homers is because I have the MLB.TV, is they got the one channel that goes to all the games. It's like a red zone, like a thing. So that way they're constantly moving the 3 or 4 boxes into all the games, and I get to see everyone hitting, and I can see all the homers, and I can see all the. But cover to cover 9 innings is hard in the middle of May. It's very tough to do.
You know, the cousin was over on Sunday, and he's a gigantic Yankee fanatic. All he does, I mean, my man's 3 bills, and he can drink 15 beers in one sitting. I mean, he can just pound, and he just watches baseball, right? So I'm sitting there, and it was so boring. I literally went in my kitchen and sat in the kitchen at the kitchen table and watched the small kitchen TV and watched the NBA. I couldn't take it. Like, I was watching the game. He's like, leave the Yankees on and get me another beer. I was like, what am I, a waiter? I go, I'm going to go watch basketball. He goes, screw basketball. Get me another beer. I was like, get your own beer, fat ass. That's our cousin.
The other basketball from last night.
Who needs
family?
Screw
T-Wolves beat the Warriors 117-110. They take a 3-1 series lead heading back to Minnesota. It was Anthony Edwards last night. He had 30 points. 16 of them were in the third quarter. That's where he got the job done on ESPN.
Edwards for 3. Of course! Anthony Edwards can't miss. He's got 14 in the quarter, and he just pushed the lead to 12.
Look, I thought Randall was just as good. Randall had 31. They both went 11 for 21, whatever, from the floor. Randall hit 4 threes. I'll give you Ant hit 6 threes. Ant's threes were, pretty much off-screen deep daggers. I'll give him that. And, I mean, my man can just flat out play. And they're humiliating the Warriors. And you know what? Once again, I have been dead on with this guy, Draymond Green. He's all this, all that, but he ain't got no game. Like, I'll let him shoot. Remember I told you the story. If you got some guy that can't shoot, I'm like, I'll invite him to shoot. When I play, if I know the guy, and I know most guys I play against, and if I know they can't shoot, I just stand there and I give them 5 feet. I'm like, well, go ahead then. Shoot it. And then they miss. This guy can't shoot. Like, he'll hit a couple. I get it. He hits a couple. But he's like, to me, he's like about a 25, 28% shooter. I think he sucks. And again, a 14-burger last night. And look at, Butler didn't do anything. Hield didn't do anything. They're finished.
They are absolutely finished. Steph said he's not going to play Game 5 in Minnesota. But Butler was really disappointed. I mean, he had 14 points, 6 boards, and 3 assists. Maybe he's out of gas.
The guy that's in trouble on that Minnesota team, I think, his future's bleak, is DiVincenzo. I think he sticks out like a sore thumb as being the weakest link. I mean, this guy struggled in the playoffs like nobody else. He hits a couple shots, but he's missed, 3 dozen shots.
Has not gotten hot. We'll hear from a couple of these guys, Ant and Randall, when we come back.
Enter into the magical world of McLuck.com, where even the smallest of spins can win real cash prizes. Adventure into over 1,000 of the best Vegas-style slot games. So what are you waiting for? Unlock your free welcome offer today. Join the fun where winners play and players win.
knows how to show love to our everyday heroes. So if you're a first responder, you are in for some perks. Lots of hotels and casino offer big discounts to any first responders who can show valid work or volunteer ID. So treat yourself to a discounted stay. You deserve it. See you in Las Vegas. Let's get lucky.
The Warriors' future was uncertain. Are they going to break it up? Steve Kerr coming back. They get Jimmy Butler, and they surge all the way through, and now they're through the first round.
The Warriors have guys, because of how special their star three trio is, they can make the guys around them better. They can elevate the way that they played. And we saw that. Steph Curry, 3 points in the first half, steps up in the second half, 19 points in the second half to carry them home.
Newswire. Only on SportsGrid.
Under him was Sharon Moore, who also participated in the cheating scandal with Connor Stallions. So you know what happens to him? He doesn't lose his job. He doesn't get a 10-year show cause. He gets to keep his job, and they go, we're just going to suspend you for 2 games next season.
Now, all of a sudden, they're coming out with everything that we knew to be pretty much true when it was happening. Yeah, they were cheating. It was like Belichick and the videotapes, right?
The early line. Only on SportsGrid. The game is on. The stakes are high. But the action isn't just on the field.
He's rearranging that roof. Get it inside!
SportsGrid's in-game live. Your ultimate second screen experience.
Just a little flyer, couple of
18.5-point live line.
Every prop, every play, every day.
Anything can happen. It's complete chaos.
It's smarter to be on SportsGrid.
Is that worthy of Spew News? I think it is.
It definitely is. So this just came across our desk. Major League Baseball Commissioner Rob Manfred has removed Pete Rose, Shoeless Joe Jackson, and other deceased players who were on the league's permanently ineligible list. Today he did that. Manfred ruled that MLB's punishment of banned individuals ends upon their deaths. I said this to you for years. I'm the only reason why it took, because he passed away in September, I believe, is when Pete Rose passed away. So it took, 8 months, 7 months, 8 months it took him to do it. But I told you that as soon as Pete Rose passed away, they'd take him off that list and allow him to then go into the Hall of Fame, and that's precisely what's going to happen now for him. Shoeless Joe Jackson, whoever else was on that list as well.
Well, at some point they're gonna have to. They got to jump through hoops now with the Hall. But I think that oversight committee will eventually, vote him in. You can say whatever you want about the guy. There's no doubt that it was super taboo what he did, betting on games and everything. And at the time, it was like you would have thought he was an axe murderer. They treated him like an axe murderer. So anyway, the reality is this. That guy, I grew up watching him, right, play. And, I mean, he was on the Phillies and Reds, whatever. But he was on the Phillies for a lot of my, childhood and young adult life, right? And this guy was he was the greatest player I ever saw, right? Like, I've never seen anyone play that hard or get that many hits, diving around head first and running into Ray Fosse in the All-Star game. I'd never seen anything like him. Like, he was just insane. And he was like a fire plug too, right? Wasn't he like he was a brick house? For a little dude, he was a brick house. When he played, he was ripped out of his mind. Remember, he was big-chested. His arms were as thick as trees. And he just played balls out. I mean, this guy was all out. Charlie Hustle. Never seen anything like it. Pete Rose, he deserves to be in the Hall of Fame just from his game alone, his play alone, and the hits record. That alone gets him in. There's, 3 or 4 things you could say about him that get him in. Mike, there's no questions asked of me. Yeah. And I'll tell you the other guy, I know they never want to let him in, but I've never seen anyone ever as good as Barry Bonds when he was young. Like when he was young with the Pirates, he was both on the base pass, in the field, and at the plate, the best I'd ever seen, without a doubt. I'd never seen anyone hit balls that far. I'd never seen anyone swing and hit fastballs like that. And then, he juiced and he hit even more and he broke all the records. But that guy would have, in my opinion, he would have broke the records without juice.
Right. And obviously those are, the thing with Bonds and Clemens, they're not ineligible. It's just the people who think that they're holier than thou. Well, right, and the people who make the decisions, which for 10 years was the baseball writers, decided that they were going to take a stand and punish those guys who never actually had any punishment per se during their
they're
playing
all a bunch
days.
of losers.
According to this, I just looked it up. So based on the way the elections and whatnot go as it is now, Rose and Shoeless Joe Jackson, the earliest that they would be eligible based on when their committee would meet again is the summer of 2028. So 3 years from now would be the earliest that they could get in to Cooperstown.
Who cares? They're dead.
So, right. Who cares? They're dead. And the other thing that this also does by him not being on the list is, according to his family and others, is the Reds can now properly honor him in the stadium with, retired numbers, things like that. They can now properly honor Pete Rose in Cincinnati and in other places. So they could do all of those things. So with him being off the banned list for Major League Baseball.
I always used to think, the last thing I'll say about this, I used to always say to you, you saw it yourself with your very own eyes. I always thought it was pathetic seeing him sitting in that little glass bubble in the MGM, in that collectible store, sitting in there by himself, waiting for people to sign autographs and sell autographs. Like, I just thought it was just so awful. For me, obviously it never bothered him. He did it every day. Like, the guy sat in there like every day for years and signed autographs. And I used to walk by that and just be like, it's so pathetic. And I've obviously interviewed him over the years, but at some point I just stopped having interest in interviewing him. I just thought he became just so lame. Like, it was like, oh my God, he'd sell his soul. He'd sell his children. Like that guy, it got so desperate, I thought, for him at the end. I thought it was embarrassing. I don't know about you. You and I used to walk by there together and we'd talk about it. It
was tough. It was tough to see because unfortunately that's where it was reduced to. And I know they had remember there was that little period of time where he was doing Fox and he was on TV. Yeah. And it seemed like then that maybe there was going to be some kind of breakthrough with it. But Manfred, who took over obviously after Selig and et cetera and that, they stood their ground all the way till he passed away.
I'll give him credit. I'll give the guy credit, because I don't think anything of him. Manfred, I really don't waste my time worrying about Rob Manfred or Gary Bettman or Silver or Goodell. I really don't. Like, I got better things to do with my life. But I'll give him credit, because I've never really said anything good about the guy, because I just don't care what he does. I really don't. But I think that finally someone just moved past all the bullshit with Pete Rose and just got it over with. Like, how long? Like, it was amazing to me how long they kept this ruse up. All these past commissioners and the game and the hall and all these writers. Like, who are these writers? A bunch of drunks. Like, honestly, I know 75% of them, and I've gotten hammered with 90% of them. They're all a bunch of lushes, and they act like they're what? Running the Vatican? What are you, better than Pete Rose? You're all a bunch of lying, fat, eating drunks. Shut up.
Still underdogs, and home, on the road, and all of these games. It's time for people to start understanding it's a legitimate team that has a chance not only to win the series against Cleveland, but also maybe even go all the way to the NBA Finals.
I think a lot of the focus has been on why the Cavs have not played particularly well. A lot of that is due to injury, of course, but I think that's taking too much credit away from what the Pacers have done.
Newswire. Only on SportsGrid.
Malaysia Fawali, who you guys know I am a huge fan, has decided to switch allegiances and stay in league. And now she's going to go play for Kim Mulkey. Her, Flau'jae Johnson in the backcourt. It's going to be interesting to watch. You wonder sometimes with roster construction, maybe too much is not too good.
Betting above the rim. Only on SportsGrid.
I don't know what he was doing taking step-back threes at the end of that regulation when he's got bigs on him and he should be driving to the hole.
It's already bad enough that I'm playing with all these NBA and D1 studs that are unstoppable, and I'm the worst one there, and I can still ball with them. But if I start calling fouls, they'll revoke my privileges. Like, I man up when I play with them.
Ferrall coast to coast. Only on SportsGrid.
Two guys that can do it all.
Too much electricity this morning.
This is a good time. We're having a lot of fun.
I had to do a triple take. Ka-ching! Why? Because of parity.
I didn't mean to offend.
Yeah, it's not going to happen.
Load management is a dirty word.
Let him rip.
You know what? Circumstances provide the results.
What? How do you do this once?
Oh, Donnie, you got such a good show there.
A network that is booming.
The Early Line. Only on SportsGrid.
All right, Carver High, where were we? I know we were going to talk Ant Edwards and Randall, etc.
Right. Let's hear from Ant, of course. Before we did the Pete Rose stuff, we were talking about how he went off with 16 in the third quarter. He had 30 altogether, and he's just looking fly, and he's just like, I was feeling it last night.
And what is it like when you get in one of those runs like you were offensively there in the third quarter?
It's the best feeling ever.
Did it start with that shot that you made at the end of the first half to kind of get you going?
Probably. Probably. Yeah, that was a nice shot for me. It got me going.
You know, did you see him last night doing an interview with the chick? And he's like, "What up, nephew?" Did you see the guy walk by and he stopped the interview and started talking to him? What up, my boy? What up, kid? And then
look,
and then he's like, and then he looked at the chick and he goes, "What'd you want?" He's awesome.
Because he's already made it very clear, like, he doesn't want to be one of these guys that, like, is like the face of the league, right? He don't want any part of that, but the whole place loves him. Like, they sort of, you see him go up, him and Gary Payton after the game. Remember last week with Irvin, all that. Like everybody wants a piece of Ant, but Ant's just like, he don't want nothing to do with any of it. He don't want to be no face of the league,
right?
Or do the interviews. But he's a cool cat. I mean, you see it right there.
He's a cool cat. And I think he likes filling it up. I think when he gets going, man.
Julius Randle has liked filling it up, too. He's been, since that first game where he wasn't very good and they lost, he's been excellent in this series for the Wolves. He had a triple-double the last game. Then he had 31 points last night. Here he is. You know, he's been through a lot, too. He's had a lot of stops with the moving van. But remember, he started way back in Los Angeles with Kobe, and he learned a lot even back then.
I don't know, man. I've battled through a lot in my career, to be honest. So, I mean, my first game in my career, I broke my leg. You know what I mean? So it's, I've been through a lot. I had a great mentor in Kobe, you know, that didn't necessarily let me pout or get down on myself. You know, his thing was always, all right, what's next? You know, how can you get better? How can you improve? So I always just kind of took that mentality with me. I mean, growing up, my mom raised me to be a hard worker and you know, not feel sorry for myself. So, I mean, I just think it's in my DNA and it's just a part of who I am. So I look forward to challenges, adversity, all that different type of stuff. You know, it's room for growth.
Do you think if I had that little kids do that Kate Upton would finally sleep with me?
I don't know. I mean, she's got JV. So I mean, we might have to find
He's looking
somebody
real
else,
old,
but...
bro. I mean, honestly, he looks older than me.
He fished pretty good.
I'm 20 years older than him, and I look better than him.
He did lose, but
he's Uncle Graybeard, son.
He is Uncle Graybeard. Steph Curry's not going to play tomorrow night in a Game 5 in Minneapolis. Here's Draymond Green. The Warriors got all kinds of problems.
We're already missing our number one guy who makes the dominoes fall, so it makes it that much tougher. So got to come up with all the loose balls and set that type of tone, and then defensively got to be really good. You know, you can't give up 117 points without Steph. You're probably losing because the likelihood that we're going to score 117 points without him is not that high. So everyone has to commit to getting it done on the defensive end, everybody being on the string. That's how we can give ourselves a chance.
Okay, so that is all you need to know that they're finished. He's already saying it right there. We can't even do this. We can't score 117 points. We can't stop anybody, and we don't have Steph. He's laying the groundwork already for their exit. They're going fishing. Cabo. And another one, I'm going to say it again. He can't shoot. I mean, when he pulls up, I'm like, yes, please, more of this. More of this. And you know what? Even if Minnie's down in a game and that guy's shooting, I'm like, all right, here we go. Let's go on a run. Because you know he's going to miss. Eventually,
he's going to.
He'll hit a couple. He always does. And then he just starts bricking.
The T-Wolves will be 11.5-point favorites in Game 5 tomorrow night at home. 11.5. Big number.
That's really meaty. In a closeout game,
right?
You know, with a team that's gonna, obviously throw the kitchen sink at them. I don't think they cover that big number. They'll win. They won't cover.
I agree.
Knows how to show love to our everyday heroes. So if you're a first responder, you are in for some perks. Lots of hotels and casino offer big discounts to any first responders who can show valid work or volunteer ID. So treat yourself to a discounted stay. You deserve it. See you in Las Vegas. Let's get lucky.
But still underdogs at home, on the road, and all of these games. It's time for people to start understanding a legitimate team that has a chance not only to win the series against Cleveland, but also maybe even go all the way to the NBA Finals.
I think a lot of the focus has been on why the Cavs have not played particularly well. A lot of that is due to injury, of course, but I think that's taking too much credit away from what the Pacers have done.
Newswire. Only on SportsGrid.
Derek Carr has called it a career after 11 NFL seasons.
I think they knew before the draft that they had to make a move at this point. And by the way, Derek Carr did have a pretty good career, made as many Pro Bowls as Eli Manning. So based on that, he should go to the Hall of Fame like Eli Manning. Well, Eli Manning does have a couple rings at that point, but always wants to take a shot at Manning, who should not actually be in the Hall of Fame. Shouldn't be questioned an under 500 quarterback for his career. Stop the man.
The Early Line. Only on SportsGrid. The game is on. The stakes are high, but the action isn't just on the field.
He's rearranging that rhythm. Get it inside!
SportsGrid's in-game live. Your ultimate second screen experience.
A little flyer, couple 15.5-point live line.
Every prop, every play, every day.
Anything can happen. It's complete chaos.
It's smarter to be on SportsGrid.
don't believe that. I think he is. I think he is going to end up with them, the Steelers, Rodgers. I don't care what anybody, all these rumors and everything else. I'll tell you one thing. It would behoove him to join Neville Wood. If he hasn't joined already, he should. Because, like, that's the best local golf club in Pittsburgh, bar none. Oakmont is awesome. They play, majors at Oakmont. But it's not exactly in Pittsburgh. You know what I mean? It's not like Neville Wood, which is right outside Pittsburgh.
So, yeah, this was apparently shut down. Somebody from KDKA, Rich Walsh, shut down that. What did he go there and ask him, I guess? Would he go to the country club and find out? Yeah, he spoke with the club, spoke with the president, who said he did not join. The club would love to have him if he signs with the Steelers. It's true that Neville Wood is beautiful, and we would love to have him, but he has not joined yet. Allegedly.
My buddy lives on the 17th hole. It really is a great and beautiful golf course. It's so nice. You can't even imagine. It's so nice that like Lemieux belongs there. I have really good friends that live there on the golf course, and they won't even invite me to play there. They'll invite me over to drink, but they won't let me on their golf course.
He'll be a member there if he's not already. He'll be a member there because he's going to the Steelers.
I think he is a member, and they're lying because no one's supposed to break the story but him.
I refuse to believe that the Steelers are going to go to battle this year with Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer, Skylar Thompson, and the kid from Ohio State. Well, I refuse to believe that that's going to be the guys that they're showing up in August with. It just makes no sense whatsoever that's what they're doing.
And especially with a bill I just paid for season tickets. They should give me my money back if that's their quarterback.
You get first crack at the Ireland game against Minnesota? Steelers?
I do have crack at the Ireland game. I will tell you that it's very expensive.
Oh yeah, I bet it is.
I mean, it's more one game, and the flights and the hotel and the experience of going to Ireland is more than the entire season ticket bill.
So they're selling it as a package to you. If you want to go, they're selling you the whole rack. You're not just buying the ticket. You're buying the flights, the hotel. You're buying the whole
parties
rack.
Parties. They're having dinner reservations and everything.
Right. They'll have like a party, in the Temple Bar with Jerome, Jerome Bettis with a Guinness outside the Temple Bar. They're gonna do that the whole 9 yards.
They're bringing all kinds of old players there and everything. It's like you're going on a fantasy trip with the Steelers.
It's more than a whole year season tickets to go and do that. All right,
it is.
We got to get to tonight. Before I get to tonight, I thought you wanted to see it for yourself. Here, odds to win the title. Now that the Celtics are down through the Knicks.
God,
the Knicks are in the 2 spot now, plus 500, right behind the Thunder. Hey, wouldn't it be? I was thinking about this morning, and I was looking at it's like 12-1 or 13-1. How about if you got the two teams that made the biggest trade? Not obviously the Luka trade in season. Before the season started, the biggest trade was this Cat to the Knicks, Randall to Minnesota. How about Minnesota and the Knicks NBA final? How great would that? Would be a fun series if we ever got it. That would be good if we ever got that.
Listen, they have a shot. They have a better shot of beating the Thunder than the Knicks do. I'll tell you that much. I have serious reservations on the Knicks beating the Pacers, and I have even worse reservations about them beating the Thunder. I think the Thunder will run them off the court. I don't think they can slow them down. I think Minnesota Knicks would be violent, and it would be a great series, and it would be possibly 6-7 games. I think the Thunder would annihilate the Knicks. I really do.
I agree.
And I think the Pacers will beat them. So I want the Knicks to win. I'm desperate. I've been waiting my whole life in New York City for the Knicks to win. I've been here 30 years, right? I've never seen them come close to winning, ever. Never, not even a sniff of it. So, and I'm a fan. So, I go to games. I want them to win it, but I still think the Pacers can beat them. The Pacers own the Knicks. Every time they play them, they beat them.
let's get to tonight. And I do agree with you. I think the Thunder would destroy the Knicks. I think that they would smash them. And I think that Minnesota. Now look, Denver still has a shot here. This is the best of 3 that Denver's playing with OKC. But I think that Denver and Minnie are the last 2 shots of taking Oklahoma City out. Because I
think Minnie can beat either one of them.
I think Minnie can beat Oklahoma City in the West Finals if they get there. If that's the matchup, they can.
Can you imagine if Alex Rodriguez wins an NBA championship the first year he owns the T-Wolves?
That would be another great angle for New York. Minnesota NBA final. You'd have the A-Rod angle as well.
I have a question. Timeout. Do you think, I got 5 left. Do you think that people in New York, do they love him or hate him, A-Rod? Or are they fair with him? Are they fair with him or do they hate him?
I think 70% of the people in New York don't like him. Because it's pretty much split 50-50 Met fans and Yankee fans. Met fans don't like him at all. So that's 50% right there that don't like A-Rod. And I think the Yankee fans are kind of in the middle.
I think there's Jeter's side, not his.
Well, not only that. I think that, but I think there's half the Yankee fans who love him. And like me, I loved A-Rod as a Yankee. I thought, and then there's half that are like, screw A-Rod. He was a cheater and he was this and he was that. So he's not some beloved figure in the New York area. I think he's got a big piece of New York sports history, being a Yankee, winning a title, and all the things that happened to him here. But he's not in the Derek Jeter.
Wasn't it great watching
Eli
him
Manning,
when he went on the fan and just kept lying? It was just the greatest thing. This guy would go on TV on the fan in New York, where you and I worked, and Mafia worked there, and this guy would just sit there and lie through his teeth on television and radio, and it was all on TV. Like the show was on Yes, and they literally he would sit there and just lie through his teeth like no other and deny everything, and every single thing he said was a lie. Everything. It was just and he did it with a straight face. It was the greatest thing I've ever seen. A guy, he was so good at lying that he believed his own lies. He actually thinks he did nothing wrong ever.
Doesn't think he did a thing wrong. He is amazing. All right, let's go. We'll get into. All right, we'll start.
Then he got every job in television. He was the worst criminal in baseball history, and then he still ended up on network television doing all the big TV jobs. And now he owns the Timberwolves. You can't make this stuff up. You got to make a movie about it.
I'm sure there will be some down the road about Alex Rodriguez's life. I'm sure that you will get a few films.
I mean,
one day
honestly, crime does pay.
Crime does pay. He's worth a lot of money too. He's smart with his money. He's a big. He's on Shark Tank too. Don't forget that. He's done a lot of things there, Rod. He's just very.
Everywhere.
All right, we got to get through these games when we come back. Pacers, Cavs, Nuggets, Thunder, and then we'll start to roll into the hockey right after that. 2 big game 5s tonight. We'll see if the Cavs can keep their season alive, and we'll see who can take the advantage going back to Denver for Game 6 with the Nuggets and the Thunder. Some big numbers again tonight. Big numbers we've got. Some big home favorites. So we've got that coming next.
Yeah, listen. We need to go play golf at Nevillewood. Let's get back to that here for a second. They wouldn't let you and I on that course. I'd rather play at Oakmont with you.
Great. Oakmont, yes.
Is Quail Hollow getting rained out? I heard it flooded out.
Pouring.
Vegas knows how to show love to our everyday heroes. So if you're a first responder, you are in for some perks. Lots of hotels and casino offer big discounts to any first responders who can show valid work or volunteer ID. So treat yourself to a discounted stay. You deserve it. See you in Las Vegas. Let's get lucky.
Still underdogs at home, on the road, and all of these games. It's time for people to start understanding a legitimate team that has a chance not only to win the series against Cleveland, but also maybe even go all the way to the NBA Finals.
I think a lot of the focus has been on why the Cavs have not played particularly well. A lot of that is due to injury, of course, but I think that's taking too much credit away from what the Pacers have done.
Newswire. Only on SportsGrid.
Derek Carr has called it a career after 11 NFL seasons.
I think they knew before the draft that they had to make a move at this point. And by the way, Derek Carr did have a pretty good career, made as many Pro Bowls as Eli Manning. So based on that, he should go to the Hall of Fame like Eli Manning. Well, Eli Manning does have a couple rings at that point, but always wants to take a shot at Manning, who should not actually be in the Hall of Fame. Shouldn't be questioned, an under 500 quarterback for his career. Stop the man.
The early line. Only on SportsGrid. The game is on. The stakes are high, but the action isn't just on the field.
He's rearranging that rim. Get it inside!
SportsGrid's in-game live. Your ultimate second screen experience.
A little flyer, couple 15.5-point live line.
Every prop, every play, every day.
Anything can happen. It's complete chaos.
It's smarter to be on SportsGrid.
These 2 games tonight in the NBA should be pretty thick.
They should be pretty thick. Why don't we start in Cleveland, where the Pacers and the Cavs get together for Game 5. Of course, Cleveland trying to keep their season alive. The Pacers can close them out and head to the East Finals. -8.5 for Cleveland tonight. 232 flat for the total. Been a very high-scoring series.
Jesus, I thought it was bad enough at 7.5, and now you're telling me it's up to 8.5.
8.5 as of this moment.
I gotta tell you, it smells to me like they're gonna whack them tonight. That it's begging me to take this number. It was bad enough at 7.5. I was gonna take it, and now you're telling me 8.5. Now I'm starting to worry that it's not gonna happen. So. Yeah, I think Cleveland beats them tonight, and they have to go back to the field house. And I don't, frankly, and I don't know Mitchell's status. You tell me. I'm fine with Garland, Strus, everyone else, Allen, Mobley. Everyone on that team can fill it up. They're a lot like the Celtics, in my view. They lose Tatum, they're still good. People, they're not great, but they're still really good. If Mitchell doesn't play, they're still really good. And I got to tell you, if he does play, he's not having a 45 burger. He's not having a 40 burger even. I don't even think he's going to have a 35 burger. But if he plays injured with the ankle, whatever it is, I still think he could have 28 to 35 points. Even he's automatic.
He was at shoot-around this morning, and all reports from their beat writers were that he was very active at shoot-around this morning. He's
then he's going to play.
He's going to play.
They're going to win.
I think they're going to win. I think they're going to win.
I still like the Pacers in the series. Let's not kid ourselves here. I've been on the Pacers for 3 months. This is not, for 7-8 days. This is 3 months I've been riding the Pacers. You know that. And so does the SportsGrid audience and coast-to-coast audience. They know that.
They know it. Indeed. I think the Cavs win tonight as well. I think they'll cover the number 2. I think that they'll cover that.
All right, let's ride it.
Second game. It's very rare when a series is tied 2-2, you would see a number like this in a Game 5. But the Thunder are laying 10 tonight at home against the Nuggets. 10, 221.5 for the total.
So, they can't win the series tonight, but everyone is saying that if they win, that it's over. And I disagree vehemently. I think this game tonight is going to be better than 10. I'm gonna go Rogie Vachon with the 10, and then I think Denver will win Game 6, and there'll be a Game 7 in Oak City at the Paycom, and then all bets are off in a Game 7. I have to tell you, you're gonna bet against this guy Joker and Gordon and Porter and Murray in a Game 7, and they have rings. I'm telling you, I don't think I'm going there. These young kids could screw this up. And everyone's saying, Mike, that the Joker's playing terrible and he's shooting terrible. And as far as I'm concerned, if that's true, I want no part of that conversation, because I know that if there's anyone that can snap out of that, it's this guy in games 5, 6, and 7. So stopping that monster, to me, is an impossible task. I think they've got a nice break, and that's why they won, but it's 2-2. Everyone acts like it's 3-1 tonight. It's not. It's 2-2. The Thunder better win tonight, because if they lose tonight, they're going to lose to Denver in Denver at the ball in Game 6, and that'll be the end of them with their fancy 68-win season. But there's no doubt they're better than the Nuggets. But I'm going to add this. Not really. They're not really better than them.
I'm taking the 10 tonight. I'm taking the points.
So you and I are in the same boat.
I don't think this is not going to be like Game 2 where they beat them by 50 points and they were, after losing Game 1. This is going to be, I think these last 2 or 3 games, however many there is left in this series,
tight.
I think they're all going to be tight and competitive, and it's going to be very tough for the Thunder to push this team out of the way. To get further along in their goal here after a 68-win season. It's going to be a rough, potentially 3 games for them against this Denver team. I have the Tatum announcement for you, Scotty. This has just come across the wire. This is from Sham Charania. Jason Tatum underwent surgery to repair a torn right Achilles tendon. That is obviously a season-ending injury, and that's long rehab. You're talking next
year.
That's a year. So he'll miss all of next year.
The following year.
Right. You put the timeline out there. Obviously, it's May right now. That the entire regular season next year, minimum. Obviously, they make the playoffs. You're going to bring him back with the playoffs off an Achilles tendon injury. I don't know, but he's going to be out all next year too. That's kind of what it comes down to. That's tough. For Tatum.
I don't wish that on anyone, but it doesn't negate the fact that I hate the Celtics.
I know. I figured
I just
that
don't care. I've seen every guy. Did we not watch the Knicks implode last year with injuries? They lost to the Pacers because all their players got injured, right? And so cry me a river. I've heard it all before. It's funny when it happens to your team, right? But I'm not gonna sit here and cry when your team has a devastating injury. I don't wish that on anybody. I don't. I hate that Achilles, knees and ankles. I don't like talking about them. I've said it a million times, but screw the Celtics.
That's what it comes down to. So obviously no Tatum going forward for the C's with the Achilles injury.
I'm just glad that we got it on SportsGrid on Coast to Coast and not, at 6:15, I'm eating dinner and it pops. And then whenever that happens to us, I'm having a bad day.
No, we never want to have a bad day. That's kind of what it comes down to. How about we come back and I really turn you around with the hockey?
Everybody
get the hockey.
Vegas knows how to show love to our everyday heroes. So if you're a first responder, you are in for some perks. Lots of hotels and casino offer big discounts to any first responders who can show valid work or volunteer ID. So treat yourself to a discounted stay. You deserve it. See you in Las Vegas. Let's get lucky.
Still underdogs at home, on the road, and all of these games. It's time for people to start understanding it's a legitimate team that has a chance not only to win the series against Cleveland, but also maybe even go all the way to the NBA Finals.
I think a lot of the focus has been on why the Cavs have not played particularly well. A lot of that is due to injury, of course, but I think that's taking too much credit away from what the Pacers have done.
Newswire. Only on SportsGrid.
Derek Carr has called it a career after 11 NFL seasons.
I think they knew before the draft that they had to make a move at this point. And by the way, Derek Carr did have a pretty good career, made as many Pro Bowls as Eli Manning. So based on that, he should go to the Hall of Fame like Eli Manning. Well, Eli Manning does have a couple rings at that point, but always wanted to take a shot at Manning, who should not actually be in the Hall of Fame. Shouldn't be questioned, an under 500 quarterback for his career. Stop the man.
The early line. Only on SportsGrid. The game is on. The stakes are high, but the action isn't just on the field.
He's rearranging that rim. Get it inside!
SportsGrid's in-game live. Your ultimate second screen experience.
A little flyer, couple 15.5-point live line.
Every prop, every play, every day.
Anything can happen. It's complete chaos.
It's smarter to be on SportsGrid.
All right, so the NBA draft lottery went down last night. Dallas got Cooper Flagg. We just told you Jason Tatum, torn Achilles, had surgery today. He's finished, and that's long-term. So as I guess expected, the Achilles, or some people thought he broke his foot or something, but it's the Achilles torn, not ruptured, torn. So they rebuilt the entire thing. He's screwed. So what about the rest of the draft lottery? I guess if it even matters.
Right. So, of course, we talked at the beginning of the show that Dallas did win it with their 1.8% chance. They have the top pick. They will now get Cooper Flagg, et cetera, et cetera. The second and third picks were also teams that moved up. San Antonio moved up all the way to 2, and the Sixers moved up all the way to 3. So the three teams that had the worst records in the NBA this year, Charlotte, Utah, and Washington, they're picking 4, 5, and 6. So that's just that's how it goes, I guess, sometimes, right, Scotty? I've seen all these people today get rid of the lottery. Poor Charlotte, poor Washington, poor Utah. They sucked, and they're not even getting a top 3 player.
Yeah.
They're not getting that, you know.
What's the point of that? Like, I don't understand.
The way it goes.
All these years, we've seen this lottery, and it is what it is. And now because Dallas gets Cooper Flagg and these other teams don't get him, let's change the system. That is just bunk. That is bunk thinking. That's just not reality. There's nothing wrong with this. How can you say there's something wrong with it when a team with 1% chance just won the number 1 pick? It's crazy. The NHL and NBA draft lotteries, there's nothing wrong with them. They work. You just don't like the outcome because the guy didn't come to your town. Cry me a river, girly man. I mean, honestly, just leave it the way it is. There's nothing wrong with it. You know, the problem is in life is, you know, I get change is constant, but do we really have to change every single effing thing in sports every 3, 6, 9, 12 months? I mean, does everything, do we not just go to a college 12 playoff system, and now we're already doing stories about 16 teams? The 68 in the NCAA is not enough for you. We're going to have 157,000 teams in the tournament. Like, stop with all the change. Go have a sandwich.
I think the other thing just off of it is with the Spurs moving up to 2, and there's been a lot of talk that they're one of the teams that wants to go hard after Giannis. That's a nice chip to have potential, because we're talking Dylan Harper, who, in other years maybe would be the top pick in the draft, who's going to be sitting there maybe in that 2 spot. So
listen, he's no Giannis, okay?
No,
I think he's
he is not.
really good player, and I know him. I've seen him play multiple times. I played against him. I played against his brother. I'm telling you, the kid's phenomenal. He really is. But let me tell you 2 things. One, he's nowhere near Cooper Flagg, and he is not, in my view, a savior at all. I just think he's a good player. His dad was a really good player. He's going to be like his dad. He'll have 30-point nights. There's no way you can tell me that guy is a generational savior player. And I got to tell you, this talk about Ace Bailey at 3, I think that's just starting to get drunk driving. You're drunk driving.
Yeah.
Okay? Slow down with that. I mean, I saw them lose every game they played. I mean, if they're damn good, how come you can't win a game? Honestly, they're not that good.
No. Look, it would obviously be more than that. I think that they would have to do that. I think they have a pick at 14, 15 in the middle. I think it's 14 they have in the middle. And I think they'd have to give something on their roster, too. Maybe Castle. I think it would have to be Castle and the picks. I think that there's a lot, that you're setting yourselves up. If you're San Antonio, then you're going to be like some of these other teams that have sold everything out to have 3 stars. You would have Wemby, Fox, and Giannis, and you probably wouldn't have much else behind the 3 of them if you were to make a deal like that. Maybe you just stay the ground here and keep acquiring all these nice young players. Try to build it that way.
I actually think that's the smarter move. I think he'll end up somewhere else. The reality is this. I know this sounds crazy. They don't need it.
New to social casinos? You're in for a treat. Most online casinos offer bonus cash or coins just for signing up. That's your own little participation trophy. Now, go get lucky. See you in Las Vegas. Let's get lucky.
The game is on. The stakes are high. But the action isn't just on the field.
Rearranging that roof. Get it inside!
SportsGrid's in-game live. Your ultimate second screen experience.
Just a little flyer, couple 15.5-point live line.
Every prop, every play, every day.
Anything can happen. It's complete chaos.
It's smarter to be on SportsGrid.
Dr. Dre said at one time here, James Wood, always up to no good, man. I like a couple players in that lineup, man, on a day-to-day basis can really get after it. Again, playing good baseball, 15-19 overall. We'll see how they pursue.
The Reds are a really fun team. We're going to talk about them a ton, and I don't think they'll compete for a wild card. But again, they're a team like the Nats where they're going to give other teams trouble at times, and they can't overlook that matchup. Cubs win the division, as we all expected.
Pro baseball today, only on SportsGrid.
The Warriors' future was uncertain. Are they going to break it up? Steve Kerr coming back. They get Jimmy Butler, and they surge all the way through, and now they're through the first round.
The Warriors have guys, because of how special their star 3 trio is, they can make the guys around them better. They can elevate the way that they play. And we saw that. Steph Curry, 3 points in the first half, steps up in the second half, 19 points in the second half to carry them home.
Newswire. Only on SportsGrid.